Hello Aries, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Aries for the next 3 months. So this will cover the period of time between October, November, and December. This would be quarter 4 or Q4 if you're more of a business person. Do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and take a look at what we have here for you, Aries. Now I'm using the Gilded Tarot, the Kipper Oracle deck, as well as the Prism Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. Do hit the like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. All right. Make sure we're all set up here and in view, and then we'll get right into it. Okay. Let's go and take 1, 2, 3 of these oracle cards here. And then I'll also take 1, 2, 3, 4 of these Kipper cards. All right. All right, energy on the bottom. You have the Two of Swords. So Two of Swords, this can suggest that some of you are maybe in a deadlocked situation. There's something here at the mental level going on here for you with the Eight of Swords and the Five of Swords showing up in the cross and this Two of Swords. We start the reading off with Swords cards here. So Swords connects to your mental process, connects to your thoughts, to potentially anxieties, communication. And the Two of Swords can really say that there's somebody who's blocking you, or you feel blocked in or restricted in your speech with another person. Okay, this talks to communication, like restrictions around communication, or just not really being able to see where something's going, or kind of having a hard time communicating with somebody, all of those sorts of things. This can also represent like a war of words between you and another person. What I will say is the star of the show for this next, 3 months, but I think beyond that, is Mars. Okay, so Mars is in Gemini for the next 6 months, 7 months, all the way to March. And the reason being is in October, Mars goes retrograde in Gemini. So we'll have Mars in Gemini for a long time. And what I will say is be very, very careful about the way that you communicate between now and the end of the year, okay? Because of this Mars retrograde. This can be a time where you say things that you truly cannot take back. Okay, Mars is associated with anger, it's associated with war, destruction, but there are also positive sides of Mars as well, like action, sex drive, initiative, working out, exercise routines, all of that sort of thing. But Gemini being such a communicative frequency, you really want to be careful about your communication style over the next 3 months, I would say, especially for you because you have this Two of Swords. Okay, now breaking this down even further here, in the current situation, you do have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords says that perhaps you're feeling down, or you're feeling out of a situation. You're feeling down and out. This person here in the background is on one knee, they're waving their flag, they're giving up, they're in defeat. But if you notice, the sun rays here are coming out of them. And so what happens with the Five Swords is, you might be dealing with a temporary loss. You might be dealing with something challenging here, but you're not out of the game when you get the Five Swords, okay? You can totally recover from the Five Swords. It's not like the Ten of Swords. It's not final. You're facing a bump in the road when you get the Five Swords. Okay, so along with that, you have in the problem position the Eight of Swords. The thing is, despite this being simply a bump in the road, in your mind, this is really limiting you. The Eight of Swords is an energy of self-limiting beliefs, or just being self-imposed restrictions, self-limiting beliefs, like just being in your mind, being trapped in your mind. This person's trapped in swords. Swords represent thoughts. This person's trapped in their thoughts. And it's in the problem position here, okay? So you also, I need to point out, you have this blindfold energy. Do you see the blindfold here? Well, you also have it on the Two of Swords. you're beating yourself up here about something, okay? I think you're really internalizing something here in the next 3 months. And I think some of you are being very, very hard on yourself, the way that something happened. It feels like you've been defeated, but this is really just a bump in the road. This is really just the start of your journey. It's not the end. And so that's kind of the biggest piece of advice that I would give based on these first 3 cards, and also the Gemini information that I shared with you, which is the Mars and Gemini information that I shared with you, which is to say to be very careful around the way you communicate. In the past, you have the Devil. Okay, so some of you here some of you have maybe been dealing with a really challenging person. I do think that there is, especially as you have 2 kings here. Oh, well, actually you have 3 kings here. Okay, so you do have 3 kings here, and you have a page. Okay, all of those cards can indicate people in your life: earth sign, air sign, water sign. Obviously, it could be literally any sign, but probably more air and more earth than anything is showing up here for you in this reading. The Devil can indicate a Capricorn. It is possible that some of you have been dealing with a challenging Capricorn, especially as you have the King and the Page of Pentacles as well. But if the Devil's about you, what's going on is this is like, it's your shadow. It's something that you have to work through in this lifetime. Nobody's perfect. We all have something to work through. And the Devil says, approach your shadow, and cast a light on your shadow, bring it to the forefront, and ask yourself what it is that you need to do to work through that situation. There might be something here in the past that you regret. Okay, I think some of you maybe are regretful, and I feel a real need to say to some of you to really take it easy on yourself here. In the future, you do have the King of Pentacles. So this is somebody who's very successful in life or in business, specifically in business. The King of Pentacles has sort of made it financially, and also in terms of their business life. This is somebody who really, they're capable of a high output here. I'm trying to think I'm trying to see if this is, if you're dealing, I think it's between the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords. I think it's one of these 2 people that is showing up as the toxic person here in your life. And it could be either or for some of you. I just get the sense that with the Devil energy, it might be that you regret something connected to this King of Pentacles, and this comes back in for you here in the future. I also think if this is part of you, okay, so if this is not a person, if this King is not showing up as a person, this says for you to really look at your habits, especially with the Devil in the past. Some of you may have slipped into some routine issues, such as staying up too late, watching too much Netflix, not taking care of yourself. I would say really take care of yourself and recognize that there's another side of life than just business and work. Because I think some of you are successful here, but it's you may have been given a setback here with the 5 of Swords, and that may be challenging for you because you've been successful for a long time. And there's something like that that's coming in as well that I feel like is showing up here in the cards. In your thoughts, what you're aware of, this is in your consciousness here, you have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords, it can be, in a detriment, which, the cards around it are challenging. The King of Swords in the detriment can be somebody who maybe abuses power, especially when combined with the Devil. And so again, it really depends on the situation you find yourself in, but it's almost like you're a leader and you're also dealing with a leader. It's almost like you're in a good position at your work, or you're a business owner and you're dealing with another business owner, or you're dealing with another leader at work, or 2 managers going at each other, 2 executives going at each other, or 2 business owners going at each other here. I don't attach gender to my cards, so it doesn't matter what gender you are, even though we have 3 kings in a page. These are just energies. And so, I get the sense that for some of you, it's you are successful, but you're also going through a bump in the road here in the next 3 months. And the way that you handle this in terms of the communication is very, very, very important for you. Now, in the subconscious, in the lower row here, you do have this Two of Wands. This person's at a fork in the road. They're at a crossroads. And they're deciding on how to handle something, or they're, in this case, I think in this case, this is you deciding on how to handle a situation with another person here, clearly. Somebody that you feel like has really dealt a blow to you. And it is possible that you come to the conclusion that inaction is better than action. That is not always something that I recommend, but sometimes doing nothing is the only thing that we can do. And in those cases, it's like the best thing we can do is move on with ourselves in our lives. And it is possible that some of you come to that conclusion here. You know, the Two of Wands also says, like, prepare now, because the future is going to be exciting for you. The future is going to include many things that, you know, you can get kind of inspired by and fired up with. Now, in the future, this is the staff, in the direction that you are headed in. Yes, this is the direction that you're headed here. Or sorry, this is your current influence. This card here is your current influence. So you have the Hierophant here in your current influence. So this represents maybe your workplace. This represents maybe the people that you have to work with on a day-to-day basis. This could represent your mentor. This could represent, you know, energy like that when you get the Hierophant. You know, this card can really say that there's somebody, this is an energy of tradition. This is a traditional person, or just something that's traditional in life, such as marriage. It is a marriage card, but also like a 9-to-5 job is traditional. You know, working for like a big corporation or a big business is traditional. And, you know, I do feel like there are issues connected to your work here and another person, but it's almost like I've never had this storyline before, as I've been reading for quite some time here. It's like two kings clashing. Okay, what is that Game of Thrones book, A Clash of Kings? It's like two kings clashing here, and or two queens, whatever you want to call it. But it's like two very successful people clashing. And yeah, I think that this is interesting. In the external influence, you do have this King of Cups. This says to keep a level head. Okay, keep a level head here. King of Cups is somebody who is calm like still water, and to really take on the attributes of being an emotionally mature leader. That is what the King of Cups does in their highest vibration, in their highest frequency, is they are an emotionally mature leader. They lead from the heart space instead of lead from the mind here with the King of Swords, or lead from the resources with the Pentacles. And so for you, that's showing up pretty heavily. Now, in the hopes and fears, you have the Page of Pentacles. This represents a prospect in your life. This can refer to prospects in your life. This can refer to good news, situations like that. And it can also say that you are a hard worker, you're studious, you're academic. I think some of you are really waiting for a prospect to come in, and it is possible that this is where the source of the challenges for you in this Clash of Kings. And yeah, I think that this is also showing up pretty heavily here. I think that it's connected to like a prospect, or it's connected to news or some sort of invitation. In the outcome, you have the Nine of Wands. This is really suggesting to me that you should not give up, despite however challenging this is, with this narrative where you're going at it with another leader or another person here. It's important that you do not give up. But again, over the next 3 months here, you do this in a way that is going to nourish you, and you do this in a way that's not going to lead you to burning bridges or, you know, hurting connections or hurting yourself in any way. So that's really the key part for you here, Aries. Let's go ahead and take a look at these 3 tarot cards. Okay, so you have the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Six of Cups. You know, I said nights, and what I'm thinking is going on here, some of you are having long nights, okay? Some of you are having sleepless nights, long nights, because you're waiting for results. Remember, in your hopes and fears here, you have this Page of Pentacles. Well, the card that comes after the Page of Pentacles is the Knight of Pentacles. And Page of Pentacles may suggest that the news or the invitation is arriving, and the Knight of Pentacles indicates that the results are here. And so for some of you here with this Moon card, this is you not being sure if this is going to come in, but recognizing that, this could simply be fear. The Moon can suggest fear, especially subconscious fear. The Six of Cups connects to your past or your childhood or something from the past. The Moon also asks you to be very careful of emotionally charged situations. And that is something that I would say is very important, to really embrace this King of Cups energy at this time. And to definitely kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at these oracle cards here. Okay, so you have message of concern, adjudication, courthouse, and coffin. It is possible that what's going on here is some of you are involved in a legal situation with adjudication and courthouse. If you're still with me, you probably have been thinking about that. And the thing is, you will get resolution here. The coffin card just simply means that something's ending in your life. You will get resolution. There's a message or a result or an outcome here that you are extremely tied to with the message of concern. Okay, like you are really maybe even losing like sleepless nights, okay, around something here. Okay, you have flow, intuition, and success. Well, I really like that. That is probably some of the best cards that you could pull for this type of reading, because for some of you, you want to make sure that you are not being kind of broken out of your flow in any way here. I'd really trust your gut, especially because the Moon is also a card of intuition, and you got the intuition card. It's almost like expect success, because when you expect defeat or you expect a loss, that outcome or that possibility or that potentiality is more possible. So that's what I have here for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next reading.